Today's topic is myofascial release, specifically fascia, and why myofascial release is important. As everybody knows, it is something that's part of my practice, and today we have Dave Noonan. He is an expert myofascial release therapist under John Barnes's work. And he is one of the reasons that I got into doing myofascial release at my business. If it wasn't the main reason.
The reason.
Not only would I still have a very, very painful knee pain that would have resulted into knee replacements as I got older, but also it helped me emotionally. It has helped me with my allergy with cinnamon. And, unfortunately, it assisted me in my son's death. So myofascial release is extremely important. And Dave is our guest to talk about it because I just find the way he explains it is pretty awesome. So without further ado, welcome to Dave.
Hi. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad you can be here. So let's jump into it because we have some really cool stuff for everybody today. Dave, what would you say to somebody if somebody said, well, what is fascia? What is this new term interstitial? Like, what is it? How would you describe that to our listeners, viewers?
That would obviously very much depend on who I was talking to, right? So if I was asked that by a patient, I would respond possibly differently than I would respond to a different healthcare practitioner that I was talking to, or a massage therapist, or an energy worker. But generally, the easiest way to explain it is the connective tissue system of the body. The interesting thing about it is that it is one piece of tissue that weaves its way through the body, not only wrapping around, which is the way they usually would talk about it, but interpenetrating every single structure of the body. And when I mean every single structure, we mean down to the very cells themselves. So you can think of it like a three-dimensional spider web that stretches from your head down to your feet and out through to your fingers, from the very micro all the way to the macro. So I have said several times, also written it in articles, not to be hyperbolic, but it is literally the web of life. It's what we are made of.
So with that said, why is it important?
Why would it not be, is the better question. This is a pretty deep rabbit hole. So traditionally speaking, traditional healthcare and scientific research has looked at fascia as packing material. In cadaver labs and dissection labs, you will oftentimes open up the body, and then they will say, scrape away all of that white stuff. Let's get to the important structures. Let's get to the muscles. Let's get to the organs. Let's get to the tendons and the nerve system. What you are scraping away is the fascia. So I think you probably explained it this way before. Anytime you have a piece of chicken or a steak and you peel it apart and you see that translucent webbing or sheen, that's fascia, right? You can think of it like an orange when you slice it and you look at the different how each section is sectioned out, but then the section itself has that webbing and that fibrous nature to it. That is the fascial system. So if it is under duress, if it has become inflamed because of trauma or injury of any kind, what happens is it literally begins to solidify. We can understand then if I'm wearing, I don't know if you guys remember the old show from the I think it was the 70s or the 80s, but Slim Goodbody. He did like a kids exercise thing, but he would come out and he had this one-piece bodysuit on that had like the heart and the lungs and the stomach and all of this stuff, and he'd work out and all of this to explain things. But think of yourselves in a body stocking, and now if I take that one piece, if I take down by your knee, for instance, and I pull on it, where else is it going to pull? Everywhere, right? And now let's pull the shoulder. Now let's pull the low back. Now let's pull the neck. Let's find all those spots where we're stiff and sore and achy. And now we're walking around like this, wondering why we're in so much damn pain. And it's not surprising when we realize that we're literally being, as John will explain, crushed. We are in a straitjacket, and it is every day tighter and tighter. One more loop on that belt as it tightens down.
So obviously I know quite a bit about this in general, but as you were explaining that, first of all, I don't remember that show in any way. So I'm just going to say, and I'm older than you.
He had like a cool 70s afro too, or something, I think, from what I remember.
I don't remember that show. Clearly my childhood wasn't about being healthy.
Yeah, slim, good body. Yeah.
I'll have to look it up. So
I think it was on before Electric Company or something.
I remember Electric Company.